Hi everyone, this is the Demonic Tutor with another video on Star Wars Unlimited Shadows of the Galaxy. I have gone on to Force Table and it turns out that they have a pre-release simulator. So if you saw my video regarding the pre-release, I told you the methods that I use to create a sealed deck. Well, we're going to put that into action here. Now, the website does say that some of the card pool is missing. Hopefully, we will not miss the cards that are out there. Hopefully, at least all the commons and uncommons will be available. And so we are going to simulate a pre-release opening, and we're going to create a deck using the methods, and hopefully it'll go well. So let's go ahead and open up the packs for the pre-release. Really cool animation. All right, so we got Jabba the Hutt here as a leader, green villainy. Other cards we're looking at Take Captive. I noted the captures cards. McClunky I think is pretty good for 3 damage. Cloud Rider is an okay 3/1, but it does have Ambush. We talked about Clanran Rescuer that puts a token on a unit. Surprise Strike is always really good. We saw this in Sparks. See, Moment of Glory. Warburg Stowaway could be interesting in an aggro deck if we're taking the initiative. Ritual Ward is okay if we get enough units. Lady Proxima if we get a lot of Underworld. Enticing Reward. Okay, so this allows us to draw non-unit cards. This could be interesting. We can certainly always use the bounty, but it depends on how many times we're going to hit for those non-unit cards. So we'll take a look at Enticing Reward, see if that's worth it. Valiant Assault Ship, a Saboteur at 3/4. On attack, if the defending player controls more resources than you, this unit gets +2/+0. I don't know how often that's going to happen. I don't know how often the opponent will ramp, but Saboteur for 3/4 is probably pretty good anyway. Xanadu Blood is our rare. Raid 6, so 4/6. When played on attack, you may return another friendly Underworld unit. So we've seen a lot of Underworld themes so far. If you do exhaust an enemy, return a friendly not Underworld unit, and then if we do that, we exhaust an enemy unit resource. That's pretty good. And our foil is an uncommon Sonar Sand, 3/6 with grit, and then when we exhaust it, can do 5 damage to the base. I think we can probably get more damage than 5 to make this worth it. I guess, yeah, let's just open up the packs individually here. We could just skip to the end. Mercenary Company, Ambush Overwhelm, another Take Captive. Fighting Fighter we've seen before. Relentless Pursuit, all right. So it looks like we are leaning toward Bounty Hunters and Underworld, attack damage unit. Creature attack. Okay, Wookiee's not bad. Fennec Shrand. Good ambusher. I'll look at. Privateer Crew, we've talked about how it's good both early game and late game. Salacious Crumb, we've talked about. And we got Kira in Underworld, but it's a heroism. We look at the opponent's hand, and it basically makes that card cost 3 more. Not bad. And we get a punishing one. Ready this unit. When an upgraded enemy unit is defeated. Okay, cool. Pack 3. Now, normally, by the way, when I open these packs, I would put the notable cards in a tapped formation. Just so I'll put the regular cards in a vertical stack, but then I'll put like what I said were the playables, like the really good playables, kind of sideways, just to kind of show their power level. So Night Owl Skirmisher, kind of flexible. Vanguard, can add exhaust, or sorry, can add experience, sorry. Grit's okay. Could go with Bounty Hunters. Wookiee, a 3/3 for 2 is not bad. Another Underworld could be useful. Ooh, Underworld Bounty Hunter. This is pretty good. If an opponent has a bounty on it, this could come in as a 7/5. Yeah, it's okay. There's Wanted. We've talked about that. Completes an attack. Defender's Faded, we heal 2. Another Underworld, but Heroism. Spark of Hope helps us ramp. Give in to your anger. All right, so you can deal a damage and you can force an opponent's unit to attack. And we get Val, which is a foil rare. Bounty, 3 damage to a unit. But then we can give 2 experience tokens to a friendly unit. Okay. Bosk is our leader. Okay. Chaincode Collector. Unit. Fine Rescuer. Mandalorian. I talked about this here. Helpful to get upgrades. Cassian Andor, first time seeing him. He's a great card. Very flexible, really great in aggro. Sundari Peacekeeper, I also really like in green. IG-11. This is a great top end, and we get General Rican as our rare. Basically gives unit Sentinel. Oh, and our foil is Triple Dark Raid. Very nice. Allows us essentially to play vehicles for cheap. And then we get to keep back in our hand, which means we get to play it the next turn. Okay. Get another Bosk. Wanted. Covetous Rivals. So if we're chasing bounties is good. It says Grit for aggro, 3 damage, 6 damage. Discerning Veteran allows us to capture. I've said that this is one of my favorite commons in the game. See, Mandalorian, Retainer, Conditional Sentinel, Fine Bounty Hunters, okay, defeat 5 more, Spark of Hope again. Dr. Avazon, yes, the 2/3/3 with a shield can do some damage early. And hopefully when we defeat Avazon, we can avoid the opponent being able to use that bounty well. And then we get a foil Disabling Fangfighter. And our last pack. Okay, we get Rey as a leader. Foundling, another Surprise Strike. Okay, Underworld there, another Underworld. Okay, so we can get a Shield if opponent's bounty, another Trenchant Hunters, Moment of Glory, First System Strand. Okay, we can ready if the opponent thinks has bounty, and then choose a ground unit, can do 1 damage to it for each damage on this unit. Well, let's draw a card, top target, can heal. And we get Zori Bliss. Draw a card, and then discard a card at the end of our hand. This can be really good since a lot of the times we're going to be using up most of the cards in our hand anyway. And we get a Delphi Patrol Wing. I really like this nice aggressive card here too. Helps to have initiative. Let's go to the viewed pool. Let's isolate each color. Okay? All right. So I'm just going to look at the top number here. So for red, we have 16 colors, or sorry, 16 cards in red. And these are neutral. These are mono. Oh, and it says other 2. So it's really 14. We're not counting the bases here. So we have 14 red cards. We have 17 green cards. Oh no, other 2. So it's, sorry, 15 green cards. We have 17 yellow cards. Actually, sorry, let me back up a bit. Because there are certain, I realize that there are certain colorless cards that are being counted all the time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 colorless. Which means we actually have 7 red cards, we have 8 green cards, we have 10 yellow cards, and we're gonna have 10 blue cards. All right, now if we put heroism in, heroism only, we have 2 heroism only cards, and we have 0 villainy only cards. Okay. So now if I have villainy red, So I'm gonna put villainy and then heroism here. Villainy red, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 villainy red. I have 1, 2 villainy green. I have 1, 2 villainy yellow, although they're 2 rares. I have 1, 2, 2 villainy blues. Okay. And so now we're going to go backwards. We're going to go heroism. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 heroism red. 4. I have 1, 2, 3 heroism green. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 heroism yellow. I have 2, 3, 3 heroism blue. Okay. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the leaders that I have quickly. Okay, so I have villainy red represented. I have yellow heroism. I have blue heroism with Finn. I have green villainy in both Jabba and Moff Gideon. I also have blue heroism again with Rey, and I also have Mandalorian with heroism yellow. Okay, so the first thing I said is I want to look at the color that have the most cards with a respective leader, and it looks like heroism yellow has the most, because I would have 14 cards with heroism yellow. And the next most cards I would have is heroism blue with 13. Okay, so I'm going to start off with that basis. We're going to see what kind of deck we build. And then we're going to decide whether we want to replace either with another heroism or if we want to go with villainy. Because if we're going to go heroism blue or yellow, we will have to decide between the Mandalorian, Fennec Shand, Finn, or Rey. I do like Fennec Shand probably the best. The ability to give ambush to a bunch of units looks pretty good. Mandalorian also looks pretty decent too. But let's go ahead and build the deck and let's see what happens. So for right now, let's go with Fennec for now. I am curious actually what happens if we change it. Huh, interesting. So we're kind of locked in. If we have it, do we... Is there a way to back up? If I remove all. Let's see if I save and close. Okay, so I can repick the leader. Just want to see what the Mandalorian, I forget what the first is. Exhaust leader if you do an exhaust enemy unit. All right, so Mandalorian is exhausting. Let's see. Save and close. Repick the leader. I just want to remind again what the flip does. So yeah, so Mandalorian's all about exhausting. 6 out of 4, 7. Fennec Shand comes a little bit earlier. And is also an underworld unit, so I need to consider that too. All right, so let's go back and pick Fennec. Okay. And we said that we're going to try blue, so let's go ahead and just grab the remote village. And let's see now what ground units we have here. So we're just going to throw in just all of the cards here. Just to see how many we would have. I wish we would have a chance to be able to see, kind of see it laid out. So it looks like we're gonna have way more than 30 here. Okay. So we're gonna go and look at these cards here. The first place I'm looking to cut is probably upgrades. You do generally want to have a lot of units on hand. So I've said how I'm not crazy about wanted. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the wanteds. Grapple, non-vehicle. We do have a lot of non-vehicle units. It's a 2 cost, however. Enticing reward. I don't know how good how many Mandalorian units here. How important it is to have other Mandalorians. So we're gonna get rid of Foundling. Let's just keep top target for now and Vambrace Grapple Shot. I do like the removal. Look the other way. I don't know. It doesn't do much for me. I guess I take out the look the other way. McClunky, we'll see how many Underworld units we have. We get to capture. And Surprise Strikes. Okay, I like all my events. We only have 4 space units. I'm guessing we're just going to have to keep all of them. And now we're down to 35 cards. So let's take a look here. So Bliss, discard a card. Grit. We already said that I didn't really like. Doesn't really do much other than get more powerful. That 3. Let's see here. So Worst Shear 3. Although it is a Wookiee, how many Wookiees are we gonna have? So this is one. This would be 1 Wookiee. 2 Wookiees. Only 2 Wookiees. So the Wookiee Warrior will not be very useful to us. We're not going to get that draw, which means we can drop the other Wookiee, the Tree Thunder, there. Moisture Farmer. I don't know. Always having 0 pop power is just not. It's not fun there. It just gets easily attacked. But it is possible that the farmer could just stay around because it has 0 power. I definitely would rather have more. Based on what I can see, it looks like we have a ton of Underworld units, which is great. The Mandalorian Warrior, again, we need to see how many other Mandalorians we have. And we have 2 Follower of the Ways, which would be a great target. And the Clanron Rescuer, 2 Clanron Rescuers as well. So we have lots of ways to give experience, so that's pretty good. We can get out 2 cards, huh? Fringe, probably gonna get that. I love that we have Lady Proxima. We have a ton of Underworld cards. You can get back an Underworld card here. I guess we get rid of Underworld Thug, but it is Underworld, so it's like it might be worthwhile to keep. Non-unit cards. How many non-unit cards do we have? We have 9. Is that enough to be able to use as a bounty? I don't think so. Like, we don't really have many other cards that kind of target bounties. So I'm guessing we get rid of Enticing Reward. See, where's the upgrades? We get rid of enticing reward. So now one card left we need to cut. Rich reward, I think that is good enough to be able to get 2 experience tokens. Top target I think will be decent. Maybe the Embrace? Is it worth just having this many underworlds? Different cost. It'll do damage. Code has a bounty. We have bounty. How many bounty hunters do we have? 1, 2. Huh, only 2. When play, and you can only get this power when a bounty hunter is out. I'd rather play bounty hunter guild initially if our leader was a bounty hunter. So let's go ahead and take that one out, and I think that'll be our 30 cards. Okay. So now that we have that, now we would take a look at the out of aspect cards, and we're gonna see, are there any cards that we see are super powerful that we would want to play? So let's first take a look at units of Cassian Andor. We would have to pay 5, 7 to smuggle him. Probably not worth it. Red 8, no. Discerning Veteran at 7 that we could capture. I think our removal is probably decent. I'd like the 2 surprise strikes that we have here, and we already have 1 way of capturing. Decent removal. Avazon could be, no. Avazon or for a 4 for a 3/3 probably isn't worth it. Was there any like big bombs? That we had here? I remember really liking the Trandoshan Hunters. We had some really good yellow villainy rares that we wouldn't be able to play. Maybe Xanadu Blood as a top end? Because that's the thing, is that the highest cost unit we have is a 5. So Xanadu Blood would be a card that I would consider putting in at 8. Again, worst case scenario is that you just resource the Xanadu Blood, but if the game does go long, it would be nice to get just, you know, paying the 2 extra just to get a really powerful unit on the board. And it would be nice to have another space unit to boot. Right? And so maybe we would replace, I don't know, maybe like the Fugitive Wookiee for Xanadu Blood. Right? So let's put Xanadu Blood in. I might change my mind on that, so we'll just kind of leave the other cards open. And I don't think there are any huge units here. Maybe given to your anger, no, that would cost 5 because there'll be double off aspect. And triple dark raid. Triple dark raid. This could actually be a way to cheat. Although we don't. The thing is, though, is that, well, for a vehicle, how many vehicles do we have? Obviously, all the space units are going to be vehicles, right? But are there any other vehicle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get to look at 7 cards. How many vehicles would we have here? I don't think I saw any other vehicles here. Okay. So with that case, I don't think, with only 5 space units and the units being fairly weak, I don't think Triple Dark Raid is going to be worth splashing here. Okay. So let's go back, go to the filters. We go fully in aspect here, and we're going to go ahead and take out, we said we were going to take out the Fugitive Wookiee. Just want to see if there's any other cards. Maybe Wheel, but I think the draw would be useful enough. How many? See, yeah. Do we have enough Mandalorians? That's right. We had 2, 3, 4. I think there were enough Mandalorians to keep Mandalorian Warrior. Huh. Would we rather do that or just get rid of the Underworld Thug? I mean, we're already going to get a ping with an Underworld. No, we want to keep that because it's also useful for McClunky, I think. So yeah, let's get rid of the Fugitive Wookiee, which, funny enough, is not an Underworld. So, okay. And so this would be, I think, our deck. I would maybe consider switching in Rey. What are the other options that we would have here? We would have Rey, Mandalorian, or Finn. But I think Fennec Shran, considering most of our units cost 4 or less, could be pretty good at ambushing. Mandalorian Warrior would be pretty decent. Hera would be good at 3-5. Val could be an interesting one. Even some of the space units might be pretty decent to try. So I think this is one example of a deck. Now, with that said, remember that we also have villainy options. So let's go ahead and start over, and let's see what happens if we try to go the villainy route. So let's go ahead and try Jabba. Particularly what I like with Jabba is that it guarantees that we're going to have a unit that will have bounty, which means that all of our units that get bonuses for having bounties are going to be really useful. So if we go the villainy route, green villainy unfortunately only has about 10 cards. Everything else has 12 cards in it. I think the most powerful cards that we had were yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to keep Coronet City at yellow. So again, we're just going to go ahead and put every single card that we have. We have way more events here. And we have 37 cards, so we still have enough to build our deck, right? First thing, again, we're going to look at are the events and upgrades. So I think Triple Dark Raid is going to be a bit better, even though we have less space units to choose from. The Xanadu, I think, will be pretty good, and it's going to be cheaper at 3. We do have 2 take captives, which means we're going to have more removal here. So I think we have just way better events, way better events. Moment of Glories you can probably get rid of. It's to get 4/4, but it only lasts like 1 phase. Isn't that great? McClunky, Look the Other Way, we said wasn't that great. Commission, I'm gonna come back to this card. It is a smuggle card, but I'm gonna see how many bounty hunters, items, or transports we have. Okay. Again, we said Wanted was kind of awkward, and the truth is we don't need as many we don't need as many bounties anymore because we have Jabba. Rich Reward, I want to kind of keep. Non-unit cards, again, I'm thinking I'm going to take that out. So now we're down to 31 cards, so we really only have 1 card to take out. So I think the question here is that I don't think we don't have really other Mandalorians. So really, it's just the Mandalorian warrior that has to go. So I think that's going to be a pretty easy cut. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our tech like right now. So bounty hunters, let's see how many bounty hunters we have here now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 3 bounty hunters here. Oh, it's a little like, oh, so that means 2 units we have to target. Still probably not good enough. I'm probably going to be looking at maybe cutting this, but I'm also looking to maybe cutting the fugitive Wookiee. But let's go ahead again. Let's look at our off aspect cards now. And let's see if there are any cards that we would look to plug in. So this would be at 4. It's pretty expensive. 5. The Covetous Rivals. Right. So the other card that I'll be kind of considering moving into is like red. So maybe green red could be good. It's tough that we're going to be getting rid of the Xanadu blood because it's going to have so much more synergies with so many underworld units that we have. So I don't think we'll be replacing yellow with red. This is an interesting card because it does give us hand information. Mind you, that hands in sealed are going to be a lot smaller. But if it allows us to delay an opponent's play, I think that could be good. So I'm going to consider Kira over the Bounty Guild Initiate. And it helps that Kira herself is an Underworld card. So Sonara. We could actually play Trandoshan Hunters off aspect. Because if we have Jabba as our leader, we're almost guaranteed to get the bounty, which means that at 7, we would be putting down a 7-5 overwhelm. Remember that it's going to get an experience token with units that have bounties. So we could still play the Trandoshan Hunters here. Again, depending upon how the curve is, and again, it's hard to look right now because it's hard to see like what units are cheap. Just the layout just is kind of clunky here. But I would definitely consider putting Trandoshan if I feel like you need more top end. Val at 4, no. Wookiee Wars, again, don't have enough Wookiees. Zori Bliss. Would I play this at 7? Zori Bliss might be worth it too. It's a 4/7, but the fact that you get to draw cards late in the game might be useful. So we have a lot of removal here, which makes me think that we are kind of in the control space. So maybe Zori Bliss becomes a sub in. Let's see, a Delphi Initiative, that's really more aggro. Punishing 1. Maybe a Fell the Dragon. A Give Into Your Anger could also be good at 3. Because if you can get an opponent to attack, and especially if that opponent, that unit has a bounty, no, I mean, I realize that Give Into Anger is actually probably better if you had Sentinel, because then you can force it to attack into a Sentinel. So maybe Given to Anger probably isn't as good. Again, it's kind of it's appropriate that it's in red, but I think you need to pair it with another color that'll have more sentinels. So I take Given to Your Anger back. Right. So now if we have like 33 cards, see, it's hard to tell what is my curve here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting cards that cost 2 units or less. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is not bad. What I would probably do is I would maybe take out. Oh yeah, and then we also have the TIE Vanguards here too. I would probably take out the Warzone Lieutenant because it's just a trooper, and it has no synergies with anything that we do. So we'll get rid of the Warzone Trooper. Oh, I need to get my fully in aspect cards in again. Warzone Lieutenant. 2. As much as I like Rich Reward, I think Jabba's ability is just going to be useful enough for us. We don't need the Rich Reward to make sure that we have upgrades here. So I think that can go. And then here we were going to talk about how many bounty hunters, items, or transports do we have. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, we had 3, 4, 5, 6. No transports. And we have no items. So 6. I think that probably makes commission worth it. I can't really think of anything else I'd want to get rid of. Maybe 1 Trandoshan Hunters? Or 1 Fugitive Wookiee. I need to look at the curve here. It's really hard to see. But for safety, let's just take care of 1 of the Trandoshan Hunters. Because if I'm gonna err, if I'm gonna make a mistake, I'd rather mistake getting a lower curve than mistake having too expensive a curve. Okay? So now looking at this deck here, I actually kind of like this deck better than the first deck that we built. Because it turns out we just have a lot more power cards in Xanadu Blood. We were able to put in Triple Dark Raid. We have way more capture cards while getting the benefits of Surprise Strike. Our McClunky is going to be way better. We get Relentless Pursuit, and we have a few bounty hunters to that we can shield from it, and we get a unit that can put bounties on it. So I think we have just a better leader too. So I really, really like this deck here. But let's go ahead and do one more run. This time, though, I want to explore green and red. So let's go ahead and remove... Wait a minute. How can I do this? Sort fully in aspect. I can't get rid of them here. Okay, I'm just going to have to just remove all of them. Let's go back, but this time, instead of the yellow, let's put in our red base. And now we're going to go, and now let's go ahead and do this again. And this all should be a lot easier to do in person, to be able to switch out, since we're keeping the colors separate. 3 disabling fan. Well, take a look at this. Already, we have way more space in red. Way more space. Okay. 36 cards. So we do have enough cards for our set here. First thing I'm probably getting rid of is Rich Reward. Again, because we have our Jabba, we're always going to have units with bounties available. Desperate Attack is interesting. Although we're playing red, I'm not sure if... I'm not sure... the conditional part of waiting for you to get damage is not something I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna keep this in though for now. This will be much more useful if we know we have ambush units, because at least ambush units are almost guaranteed to come in damaged, right? Because they're going to get damage after we ambush with them. Detention Block Rescue. Guarding any captured cards. I don't know how many often we're going to deal with units that are getting captured. We do have Given to Your Anger. Again, Moment of Glory is just... Again, 4/4 is great, but we're going to spend 3 resources for it, unless we're going to have a lot of Overwhelm. It's just really expensive for what it does. We have 2 Take Captives. Okay, we're down to 32 cards. Deal 1 damage to unit or base. Punishing 1 unit's defeated. 3 or less. We have a lot of 3 or less here. I think that'll be useful. And my gut just tells me Warzone Lieutenant is also just going to be the one to go. Just a 2/2 that does nothing else and not many synergies with anything else. We have bounties, Underworld. We have an Underworld here with Ambush. Oh, this is going to come in ready. That's going to be awesome. Raid while attacking. Conditional Sentinel. How many green units do we have here? 1, 2, 3. No, wait. Yeah, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's okay. It's okay. How many bounty hunters do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have way more bounty hunters here. This Bound Guild initiate is going to be way more useful. How many Underworlds? You know, just plenty. I kind of lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think we have enough Underworlds, right? We do need to cut off 1. I don't really think we saw any other Mandalorians, right? So I guess we're cutting the Mandalorian warrior in this situation. Yeah. Mandalorian warrior out. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at out of aspect and what were the cards that we're going to be looking at to put in. I think we can go ahead and kind of go a little bit faster here. Zori Bliss was something that we were looking at. However, now we are double off aspect, and I would consider playing her at 7. I would not play her at 9. Was there anything else? Yeah, so the double off aspects are pretty much all out. Dr. Avazon. Did I actually even have... Yeah, I thought I had Dr. Avazon inside the... when we did Villainy Green Yellow. Again, at 4, he's probably not worth it. Fennec Shrand, we would get this at 9. A 4/6 ambusher. Actually, no, we would... So really, though, because on attack, he deals damage to the defender. for each different cost card in the discard pile. So we could get damaged as much as 5, but it's still pretty expensive for an ambusher. In fact, is there a way to even sort out the costs here? Because we're really... Delphi at 7, no. So the Xanadu Blood at 8? I think we're probably going to have enough top end. It's nice to have the Trenchant Hunters at 5. Because now we're going to get 7 5s at 5, guaranteed, with Jabba. Again, we probably don't even need any of these bounties. Maybe Fell the Dragon. Maybe McClunky. Maybe Relentless Pursuit. Relentless Pursuit is a removal. But let's see, how many bounty hunters do we have? 1, 2... We have way more bounty hunters now. I think Relentless Pursuit could be worth splashing at 5. Surprise Strike's always interesting because it does extra damage. I'm always going to consider putting Surprise Strikes in. We have 8 units instead of... we have way more space units now because red, it's the Stabling Fang Fighters. Like, all of these are just huge. Top 7 cards, the vehicle, and play it. Bet 5 cost just to get kind of like an attack in. Nah, I don't think any of these space units are probably worth it. Okay, and then so now I'd consider, I'd weigh these 3 cards for what would we replace here. Let's see, Grit, we're gonna damage with a bounty. Maybe Hunting Nexu. How many red units? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thing is, we'd be really relying on these red units. I don't think Hunting Nexu is going to... I mean, nice to attack with a 6/4, but I don't think we're going to get that often enough. So I would probably take out the Nexu. So, bye-bye. It's Hunting Nexu. Maybe I take away 1 Surprise Strike. Or let me see if there's anything else I would probably get rid of. Now, the other issue I have with this deck, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, we do have a lot of like 2-drops, but they're just not as many on the ground. That is a risk we would definitely need to take. Although we are more likely, I think, because we have some space out here, I think we'll be good. I think the Surprise Strikes will be important because I think the game plan for this deck is going to be a little bit more control-y. We don't have really good early ground units, so we're going to need to be able to trade up using the Surprise Strikes, although I don't think I want too many of these. We already have quite a few units here. We're probably actually going to take away give in to your anger. Again, we don't have the Sentinels that we can force a unit to attack into. So let's get rid of that. 1. And do I want to play 2 Surprise Strikes at 4? I probably don't. Like, it's either that or Commission, but I think I'm just gonna... I'm probably playing Commission as a smuggle card anyway. So, the take captives are going to be really useful. The fact that it doesn't matter the power or toughness that the unit has. The fact if we can just delay a unit before one of our bigger top ends comes out, I think are gonna be good. So let's go ahead and just take out one surprise strike. And so there we go. All right, let's see what happens if yes, we're just sort of save and close. So we were able to build 3 decks. We were able to build a yellow-blue Fennec deck. We built a green and yellow Jabba deck and a green and red Jabba deck. My gut tells me that I would be deciding between green yellow and green red. My gut tells me green red, just because I am curious to see how playing a lot more space units, especially having the disabling Fang Fighters, is really interesting to be able to defeat upgrades in a set where I think upgrades are gonna be more important. I think is what I would probably play. But I would probably want to check out the curves. If the curve was nicer for green-yellow, I might play that. But I think both green-yellow or green-red would both be really viable sealed decks here. Okay, so hopefully you got a lot from this deck building exercise. I wish you the best of luck in all your pre-releases. May the Force be with you, and have fun this weekend. All right, until next time. Oh, I should always forget, if you like what you saw, please like, subscribe, and comment. I'm always looking to grow the channel, and I'm also looking to improve the content. All right, take care, and have fun this weekend. Bye.